early prelims, Uros Medic versus Jalil Turner. I remember when we were looking at the lines, this fight was super close. Medic was 7-0 coming in. He was minus 125 or something like that, minus 120. Turner was minus 105 or even. And I texted you guys because I think Turner was 10-4 coming in again, Medic 7-0. And I texted you guys and I was asking, and I was looking through Turner's fights. I don't remember seeing him fight, but I was like just kind of going through who he's fought, the results and all that. And I was asking, like, what am I missing here that this is so close? Now, I wasn't saying it should be like minus 500 for Medic, but the fact that the line was that close, I was wondering, like, what am I missing here? And the only distinct thing, at least on just looking at the numbers that I noticed that really popped out was his 6-inch reach advantage. But I didn't feel like that was enough to warrant that. But so I just figured, all right, there's something I don't know about the man. Obviously, I don't remember seeing him fight. The result of this fight showed why it was that close of a thing. Because again, Medic coming in, hadn't lost yet, and then absolutely dominated from the beginning by Jalil Turner.
Yeah.
This is, again, lightweight again. I mean, look at this. I mean, we just mentioned a couple of times about this division already. That was his, what was that? His fifth win in a row, second submission in a row.
You're talking about Turner?
Turner, yeah.
That was his second submission in a row, his third win in a row. His third win was against Bao. It was a KO in the second. So
yeah, I mean, he looked great. I mean, look at that. This fight was 4 minutes long, 25 strikes. And he got that submission.
Medic had no answer. It was
No, he couldn't do anything. He absolutely could not do anything. He looked absolutely rattled right off the bat. We had picked Medic just because I was pretty ignorant on Turner and what I had seen from Medic. I was like, I'll probably win. I couldn't distinctly see anything that was popping out for Turner minus the reach. But he commanded.
Medic was coming off 2 KOs.
Yeah.
So
I think the line on this was 1.5 for the rounds, and I think the over was the favorite. Either way, it went under. I can't remember which one was the favorite, but it went under. Again, Turner, one of those guys now, if whoever is fighting next, I'm going to look forward to it because he kind of had to take care of some stuff out of the octagon, reinvent himself there, comes back, does what he's been doing his last 3 fights.
He's doing solid.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we just said about the heavyweights, it's not like those unranked guys are usually like, what, I don't know, contestants on my 600-pound life, where you look at the lightweight division, the bantamweight division, some of these other divisions for the men's, including middle, even welter, the unranked guys too are really good. It's just the other 15 that are ranked are also really good. There's only, people are butting heads to try and get there. So let's see what's next for Turner. I think DC was asking, like, when do you want to turn this around? He sounded like he was ready to go. He said he's just got to make sure he's all right.
He was completely
fresh. He said his kid's birthday's in December. He'd like to get him a nice gift. Let's see this guy fight one more time before the year ends. I mean, this was a short fight. I didn't physically see him take any damage unless he had something maybe coming in. I mean, I'd look forward to see him pretty quickly.
Agreed.
And then who do we have? I gotta just keep these on.
Maximov and Brunage.
Then we had Maximov and Brunage.
Yeah.
Brunage, last minute replacement for, I forgot who the other guy was. I forgot what happened. I think he got hurt or I don't know what happened. Maximov, there was a little bit of buzz for him coming in because he fights out of the Nick Diaz Academy in Stockton. Nate Diaz was out in the crowd watching as the fight was going on. This was a fun fight, dude.
This was a fun fight. I had this pegged as, when we first saw it, I had it pegged as potential fight of the night.
I mean,
constant back and forth between the two.
The little backstory behind these two was they were scheduled to fight originally on the Contender Series. Forgot what happened. They didn't. And then Brundage steps in. That fight ends up materializing. Brundage was kind of like, the way he was fighting in the beginning, it wasn't like cocky, but it was definitely confident. The arms were kind of down. He was throwing these punches and he looked comfortable to be there. He didn't look like I guess it was kind of like, what do I have to lose? I'm stepping in last minute. The betting lines were close on this one too. I think it was almost the same exact as Medic and Turner. It was like minus 125 and plus 105 or even and minus 120, something like that. but Maximov clearly showed why he won, and it was the differential. The differentiator was the ground game. Clearly, way too much of a disparity in talent for Maximov there versus Brunage. Had this fight stayed on the feet, I think it would have maybe been a different story because Brunage looked like he was holding his own there, but Maximov was just absolutely taking care of him.
His wrestling was
fantastic,
beautiful, man.
Yeah,
absolutely
it was great.
Fantastic. What I found really interesting about watching him fight was the fact that he would go for a lot of choke attempts, a lot of submission attempts, but he was very intelligent about recognizing, maybe I don't have this fully, and so he wouldn't overcommit. And it goes back to what we were talking about last week, where sometimes guys just overcommit on the attempt and keep going, even though it's just not happening. Maximov didn't let that happen. He just kept sliding in, realizing, okay, it's not full. Let me go for another thing. Let me try something else. And, in the end, it went to a decision, but I think that it was very, very intelligent play on his part. Because had he figured that he had that choke in or that sub in, it would have been game over in terms of, submission or a TKO or,
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple opportunities to finish it. I mean, I liked I thought Brunage, given the amount of times he ended up, what is that? Is that 6 sub attempts?
15
that Maximov
attempts. It's not showing me the sub attempts, but there were 15 takedowns.
Oh, that's 0. I thought that was 6. But yeah, he definitely he attempted it a lot. Brunage was doing a decent job defending the take.
Man. Yeah,
it's just that Maximov was absolutely unrelenting. It was kind of reminding me of how Merab is like, because Merab is like, it doesn't really matter. Merab, Thug Nasty. What was that other guy? Ronnie Lawrence. These guys, like, they attempt like 10 plus takedowns, like no problem. Like they don't get discouraged. Unlike Sterling goes 1 for 17.
Brunage recognized early that he needed to lock Maximov's hands down, because that was something that I noticed. He was very smart about realizing I need to grab on his wrist, control the wrist, because I think that prevented Maximov from really being effective. So it was good on Brunage to actually recognize that, hey, I'm in danger. I need to just lock him down. Otherwise, I don't think he would have made it out of any of those rounds. So really kudos to him for surviving as long as he did. And that's because he was intelligently countering.
I'd like to see Brunage again with an actual camp versus just hopping in like that. Given the circumstances behind the fight, I thought he would serve. He did a pretty good job. And again, 15 takedown attempts. He stuffed 4 of. He only allowed 4. It's not a terrible. He did pretty good job defending it. It's just, again, Maximov just wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
He just kept coming and kept coming. So I think with some more time, Brunage just showed ability to stuff those takedowns. So I think if he can continue to refine that ability and just be able to stay on his feet a little more. He just had that one time when Brunage went for a takedown attempt. Dude, when he shot, it seemed like he shot from so far away when he first did it, because it looked slow. It was kind of slowish, and Maximov just kind of easily shut it down. And then they showed it in slow motion again, and it was props to Maximov, because as it was coming, Maximov went back and pushed Brunage down. But I think it was still kind of an irresponsible takedown attempt, and I think it was kind of getting to the point where Brunage was like, all right, let me try and make something happen here.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So something like that, to kind of be a little bit more smarter in your attempts, even though if it's looking like, all right, this isn't going my way, I got to make something happen. I don't know if your pathway to victory was to get Maximov on the ground. If you got him down, he was already outmatching you there. So I think tactic should not have been that. But I think he showed enough where it's like, all right, I'd like to see him with the camp. Maximov, look forward to seeing him one more time. And here we go again, middleweight. That was Maximov's, both of their guys' UFC debut. Maximov had won on the Contender Series, so this was his first fight since then. 2 more to add to the middleweight division. Let's see what pans out for them. Maximov, what was this one decision? I don't think we'll see these guys again this year, but it'd be nice if we do. Then, this guy got screwed. Did you have any last things to add on Maximov Brunage? No. Yeah, so your boy, Semi the Jedi, got screwed. He fought. Dude, this guy's Sono. I don't get it. No glove touch. He didn't shake Semelsberger's hand during the weigh-ins. I don't know why. Comes in 4-2-1. I don't know where this. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe he was trying to psych himself up. It didn't work because he got his ass knocked out in 15 seconds. I don't know if you saw the stat. Only Semelsberger and Anthony Johnson have 2 knockouts in less than 20 seconds in UFC history. It's kind of a specific stat, but it's pretty nuts. This guy, probably most people don't know him, but he has 2. And this guy was a safety in college. He was playing football. Now he's 9-3. He lost his last fight. I remember I put a live bet on it. He cost me $50. It's okay because he came back, did what he did this fight. But Dana it was almost like he got penalized for fighting too early. Did they forget that this guy fought and did what he did? 15 seconds, he just absolutely put this guy to sleep.
Yep.
Give this guy $50K. Why did he get gypped out of that?
It makes no sense to me either. I mean, because the knockout itself was beautiful too. If you're looking at it just from that angle, like you should be giving the guy $50K, but maybe Dana was just being stingy for whatever reason. Like he is.
I think the issue was the back flip after the victory was just horrific. And Dana already doesn't like the back flips. He's like, number one, I don't like when you guys do that. Number two, you didn't even land it. No $50K.
I can see Dana being super salty like that, man. I could absolutely see it. I could see that happening. And yeah, but like, I agree with you. I think if, Semelsberger should have gotten $50K. It's pocket change. Like you said, the guy has 2 knockouts, sub 20 seconds, and they're basically almost back to back because he knocked out Witt, went on to lose to Chaos Williams, and then knocked out Sono. Come on, man. And
I'd like to see him fight.
So
yeah,
in that division, man,
I want to see a step up in competition. I have no idea why this was the fight scheduled. I don't even know who the hell Sono is. I don't think he was replacing anyone. I think this was the originally scheduled fight.
I don't know. I feel like Semelsberger was he was very looked down on. It's not that matchup is not deserving of what we've seen from him. He fought Chaos Williams last. Who's this Sono guy you're fighting? Like you said, it makes no sense to make that matchup.
No clue. But again, I think Paul Felder said it, and he put it well. He did what he had to do against someone like Sono. And I think he was also kind of insinuating he had no idea why Sono was there. So it's kind of like even like a team sports in basketball. It's like if a really overpowered team they're matched up. It's the 3rd game of the year, whatever it is. That's the team they have in front of them, and they just run that through them.
Nick Diaz Academy. That's why.
Oh, that's right. I think
so that literally answers the question right there. So he's coming out of there.
Screw it. We should go. Let's go sign up at Nick Diaz Academy, try and collect half a paycheck.
Out of Stockton or what?
It is out of Stockton, so I don't know if I'm really willing to do that. And then the first fight of the entire card. What's Pearce's first name?
Is it Jason?
Jason? Pearce, whatever. Pearce versus Omar Morales. I thought the card was starting at 6:30 Eastern time. I'm glad I called you guys. It was at 6:15 Eastern time. Yeah, Jonathan. And you guys said, bro, the fight's about to start.
Yeah.
Right when I pulled it up, the fight started like 10 seconds earlier, so I was able to catch this. Dude, Pearce looked good, man.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. Again, I don't remember if we've seen him fight. I don't know what the situation was. I think we've seen Morales before. But Pearce, again, another unrelenting performance. He kept coming. He kept trying to get different types of subs. Even Morales was shaking him up. I think Pearce was the underdog too. And the under was the underdog, I want to say. So both dogs on the car on that fight hit. And then DC kind of was like alluding to like Morales kind of just gave up because he could have kind of kept fighting on that sub attempt, but they just decided to screw it. I don't know if that was accurate read on that, but he was pretty ferocious in pursuing a sub against Morales. And featherweight here, he looked good, man. I think that was a nice lead off to an overall phenomenal card. They set a good tone.
No, absolutely. And I mean, credit to Morales too, because I think that they both showed some really, really technical ability. They were, it wasn't like a one-sided affair, Morales lost, but he was able to counter Pearce during most of that, up until the choke. But I feel like he just kind of gassed in the second, and that's what really sealed the deal for him. Because you could see him slow down a little bit. He didn't seem, not that he wasn't there, but he definitely didn't seem to have the same fluidity that he had in the first. And I think ultimately that may have been what did him in. Because otherwise, I think he was doing well, technically speaking.
I mean, he fought. I mean, look at this. 11. He faced 11 takedown attempts, and he got taken down 6 times. Over 5 minutes of control time for Pearce. That shit gets tiring, man. When you're just constantly on the bottom with 145 pounds just sitting on top of you,
Yeah.
and you're just stuck there. It gets tiring. But otherwise, like there wasn't much going on the feet here. 35 total strikes, total significant strikes for Pearce. 25 total significant strikes for Morales, and both landed 12. So this was primarily most of the action was on the ground. And again, Pearce looked good in different types of avenues. He was trying to climb Morales' back when they were on their feet. Got to the ground. He tried to get himself in different positions, and he ultimately finally got him and put him out with the rear naked choke. Yeah, I mean, props to him again. It was a nice start to an overall fantastic card.
Yeah, I'd say so.